After 8 years of Justin Trudeau, cost of housing has doubled. Cost of mortgage payments, rent, and home prices have doubled, which means 9 out of 10 young people who don't own a home believe they never will. Think what that does to someone's psychology. You're 30 years old, you're in your parents' basement, you can't start a family, you can't save for your future, you can't build credit or collateral. And worse, based on today's high interest rates and rising costs, you calculate that you never will. So you lose hope. Worse, many homeowners are losing their houses because interest rates are going up after 8 years of Justin Trudeau, despite the fact that his government said they would stay low for long. So those people lose their homes, end on the street, and addicted to drugs. And after 8 years of Justin Trudeau, 30,000 people have died of drug overdoses. Crime rages as more and more violent acts go unpunished, with a 32% increase in violent crime after 8 years of Justin Trudeau. Meanwhile, 1 in 4 Canadians skip meals, and 1 in 2 cut back on groceries because food prices have gone up so fast under Justin Trudeau and his carbon tax. People are walking into food banks, asking help with medical assistance and dying, not because they're sick, but because they're hungry and miserable after 8 years of Justin Trudeau. Veterans who go seek help are told by their own government they should consider getting medical assistance and dying instead of getting the service they deserve. And finally, the government says that all those people suffering from mental health, understandably, with how badly things are going, the government says they should use medical assistance in the dying. This is the hopeless state that Justin Trudeau has created. In Canada today, after 8 years of Justin Trudeau, everything feels broken. But instead of fixing those things, or at least taking responsibility for breaking them, the Prime Minister seeks to divide and distract. See, he thinks that if you're afraid of your neighbor, you'll forget that you can't pay your rent. If you're afraid of a trucker, you might forget that you're hungry and take your eyes off of the guy who caused the problem in the first place. Now, don't take my word for it. This is what a Liberal MP said when he commented on the Prime Minister's conduct. Stop dividing Canadians. And I'm quoting, stop dividing Canadians. To stop pitting one part of the population against another. I can't help but notice, with regret, that both the tone and the policies of my government changed drastically on the eve of and during the last election, from a positive and unifying tone to a decision was made to wedge, to divide, and to stigmatize. I fear that this politicization of the pandemic risks undermining public trust in our public health institutions. This is not a risk that we should take lightly. It's time to stop the division and the distraction. End quote. The Prime Minister's own Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, said that COVID was a political opportunity. And his former Finance Minister, Bill Bourneau, says that the Prime Minister used vaccines as a wedge issue to divide people. And thus, a lot of people were so helpless and so desperate, they ended up participating in a protest in Ottawa. This was an emergency that Justin Trudeau created by attacking his own population, by driving up their cost of living, by making it impossible for people to pay their bills and live their lives in peace. He caused the emergency that unfolded. And then when he caused it, he piled on, he poured more gasoline on the fire with nasty insults, jabbing his finger in the faces of his own citizens, something that even today's report acknowledged contributed to the length and the intensity of the protest. Everything feels broken in Canada, but we can fix it. As Prime Minister, I'll bring people together. I'll listen to their concerns and understand the suffering that they experience. In fact, I'll reverse the policies that caused that suffering in the first place by eliminating the carbon tax so that we can bring down heat, gas, and grocery bills, by clearing away the bureaucratic gatekeepers to build more homes so our young people have a place to live. I'll get off the backs and out of the way of our First Nations people so that they can supply themselves with a good quality of life. In other words, instead of divide and conquer, we'll unite for hope in this country. It's common sense. Now let's bring it home. Thank you.